Leonard had driven the same car for 9 years, a 2015 Honda Accord, dark blue. He washed it every Saturday morning, changed the oil every 5,000 miles, never missed a service. At 74 years old, that car was his independence, the thing that got him to his doctor appointments, to the grocery store, to his grandkids on Sunday afternoons. So when the check engine light came on during a Tuesday morning drive, Leonard didn't panic. He pulled into the nearest auto shop, a place he had never been before, about 2 miles from his house. Clean-looking building, professional sign, 5 stars on Google. He told the man at the counter his check engine light was on. The man smiled and said they'd take a look. He told Leonard to have a seat in the waiting area and help himself to coffee. 45 minutes later, everything changed. The mechanic came out with a clipboard and a serious expression. He said Leonard's car had multiple critical issues. The transmission was showing early signs of failure. The brake lines had corrosion that made them a safety hazard. The power steering pump was leaking. The timing belt was overdue for replacement, and if it snapped while driving, it could destroy the entire engine. He spread several papers across the counter, diagnostic printouts with numbers and codes. He pointed to each one carefully, explaining what it meant, what would happen if it wasn't fixed, how dangerous it would be to drive the car in its current condition. Leonard asked how much. The mechanic wrote a number on a piece of paper and slid it across the counter. $8,140. Leonard felt the blood drain from his face. He asked if he could think about it. The mechanic said, of course, but he strongly recommended Leonard not drive the car until the brake lines were fixed. He said it wouldn't be safe. He said he'd hate to see something happen to him on the road. Leonard called his daughter from the waiting room. She told him not to sign anything, and that she'd be there in 20 minutes. His daughter arrived and asked the mechanic to show her the issues on the car directly. The mechanic became noticeably less friendly. He said the car was already partially disassembled, which it wasn't. They hadn't touched it. He said the diagnostic equipment didn't lie. He said Leonard could get a second opinion if he wanted, but the safety issues were real and urgent. Leonard's daughter took out her phone and called a mechanic she trusted, a man named Ray, who had worked on her own car for 12 years. She described what the shop was telling them. Ray told her to get the car out of there immediately and bring it to him. They drove the car, carefully, watching everything, the 2 miles to Ray's shop. Ray put it on the lift. He spent 40 minutes going through every system the first shop had flagged. Then he came out, wiping his hands on a cloth, and told them what he found. The check engine light was a faulty oxygen sensor. A $40 part, 30 minutes of labor. Total cost, $85. Everything else the first shop had described, the transmission, the brake lines, the power steering pump, the timing belt. Ray could find no evidence of any of those issues. The brake lines were clean. The transmission was shifting perfectly. The timing belt had been replaced 2 years ago and was in excellent condition. The car Leonard had been told was a safety hazard was, in Ray's words, in very good shape for its age. Leonard filed a complaint with his state attorney general's office and the Better Business Bureau. An investigator later told him this particular shop had 17 prior complaints from customers, the majority of them seniors, describing identical experiences. Inflated diagnostics, pressure tactics, urgency around safety issues that didn't exist. The shop was still operating when Leonard filed his complaint. Last time anyone checked, it had changed its name. This is called mechanic fraud, and it is one of the most widespread financial crimes
targeting seniors in America. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that Americans pay billions of dollars every year for unnecessary auto repairs. Seniors are targeted disproportionately because they are more likely to be alone, more likely to be unfamiliar with cars, and more likely to respond to safety concerns immediately without questioning them. Here is exactly how it works. They wait for you to come to them. Unlike phone scams, you walk in voluntarily. You have already told them you have a problem. You are already slightly anxious. They start from a position of trust. You chose their shop. You're sitting in their waiting room, drinking their coffee. They use technical language to overwhelm you. Transmission failure, brake line corrosion, timing belt. Most people don't know what these things look like or how serious they actually are. The mechanic knows this. The clipboard full of diagnostic printouts is designed to look authoritative, not to inform you. They use safety as the emotional trigger. Not, your car will break down. That's inconvenient. Your brakes could fail while you're driving. That's terrifying. For a senior who depends on their car and worries about being stranded or causing an accident, this hits exactly where it hurts most. They create urgency and isolation. Don't drive it. Sign today. The longer they keep you in that waiting room, away from anyone who might give you a second opinion, the better their chances. And they target people who came in alone. Leonard's daughter arriving changed everything. She asked to see the problems directly. She called someone she trusted. She didn't let the pressure work on her the way it had worked on Leonard in that waiting room for 45 minutes alone. Here is what protects you completely. Find a mechanic you trust before you need one. Ask friends, family, neighbors for recommendations. Read reviews specifically looking for mentions of honest pricing and clear explanations. Having a trusted mechanic's number in your phone before your check engine light comes on is the single most valuable thing you can do. Never authorize repairs on the spot at a shop you've never been to. Always say, "I need to think about this. I'll call you tomorrow." A legitimate shop will be completely fine with that. A shop running a scam will pressure you to decide today. Always get a second opinion for any repair over $500. Drive to another shop, describe what the first shop told you, and ask them to check the same items. If the first shop told you your brake lines were dangerous, a second mechanic will either confirm it or tell you what Leonard's daughter heard from Ray. Ask the shop to show you the problem directly on the car. Walk out to the lift with them. Point to the brake line and ask them to show you the corrosion. Ask them to demonstrate the transmission issue. A legitimate mechanic will be happy to show you. A dishonest one will find reasons why they can't. If you believe you've been charged for repairs that weren't needed, file a complaint with your state attorney general's office at naag.org and with the Better Business Bureau at bbb.org. Your complaint may be the one that finally triggers an investigation. And if this video is opening your eyes to something you didn't know before, hit that like button right now. Every like helps YouTube show this to one more senior across America before they pull into the wrong shop. You could save someone $8,000 today with one tap. Leonard still drives his 2015 Honda Accord. Ray replaced the oxygen sensor that same afternoon. Leonard has been taking his car to Ray ever since. He told me the thing he remembers most is sitting in that waiting room for 45 minutes, alone, looking at that number, $8,140, and feeling like he had no choice. Like the car was dangerous, like he had to fix it, like there was no other option. He said, "I almost signed those papers. If my daughter hadn't answered her phone, I would have." One phone call saved him $8,000. Make that call before you sign anything, every single time. Have you or someone you know ever been overcharged or misled at an auto shop?
Leave a comment below. Tell us what happened, because I promise you, someone reading your comment right now is sitting in a waiting room somewhere, making this exact decision. Subscribe for a new story every week. Real scams, real people, real protection, every single week. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.